Welcome back to the friendly confines of Phil Welch Stadium here in beautiful St. Joseph, Missouri, home of your St. Joseph Mustangs. Today we have Mink League action between the Clarinda A's and the St. Joseph Mustangs. Tom Rindo alongside finally Charlie Marshall, who is back from his paternity leave. On behalf of all the Mustangs, want to congratulate Charlie on a beautiful baby. Charlie, what else do you have to say?
I was on vacation, a great vacation. But yeah, I'm happy to be back. I look forward to some Mustangs baseball. I've missed it. I really have. I'm glad to be back in the booth with Tyler Bermundo here. But yeah, like you mentioned, the Clarinda A's, and they are no slouch, Tyler. They are second in the Mink League. They have been hot since we last played there. They're 13-1 in their last 14 games. I'll just say that. But what can I expect out here tonight from these two teams?
Well, the Mustangs coming off of a loss 2 days ago. They won yesterday at home, and it was a well-fought game. They were down 9-1 at one point, showed their grit, came back, and were leading at one point against the Carroll Merchants 11-9. Ended up falling in extra innings. But they're always going to be a good team. The A's, on the other hand, much more improved than what we saw the first time. Really, the A's could have won that game, except there was a bad error on the pitcher. And I really want to look out for Kai Holiday, who's second in the Mink League, hitting .414. He's behind a couple of guys. Like Jake McClure, for example, is hitting higher than him, but he didn't have enough at-bats. Kai Holiday.
Yeah, Kai Holiday, like he's been one of the better hitters in the entire Mink League. I mean, his average this year is just kind of crazy. He's hitting .414, which is second in the entire Mink League. So definitely a player, like you mentioned, to look out for. We'll take a quick break for the national anthem. When we come back, we'll have the starting lineups for these two teams. Welcome back to Phil Welch Stadium. Man, it feels pretty good to say that again. But, yes, Clarinda A's, St. Joe Mustangs. On the mound today for the Mustangs is Camden Lutz. Lutz has had a pretty good year so far for the Mustangs as he looks to take down the second-place team in the A's. Tyler, is there anything in specific Lutz needs to do tonight to have success against this A's lineup? Because let me tell you, this team can hit.
Well, I first look at his strikeout-to-walk ratio, a little bit over a 4-to-1 strikeout-to-walk ratio, which is elite, especially at this level. A lot of guys are a lot more wild. You get to professional levels, people tend to find the zone more, but he throws strikes, but he also doesn't get hit around. His ERA is sub-3 at 2.61 to be exact. So he continues to play his game, not be afraid of the fact this team is probably the biggest threat in the Mink League. They're still 5 games back, but that's like the biggest threat to take over the Mustangs in the Mink League. He's just got to trust his stuff and do what he does best, throw strikes and throw quality strikes.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Take a look at the defensive lineup for the Mustangs. Out there in left, you have Easton Bruce. In center is Darius Freeman today. Frank Gall back in right field. Jaden Little at third, something we have not seen a lot this year. Maiden Holton taking the reps at shortstop. Carson Schreck slides over to second. Jeter Mose at home over there at first base with Dom Felix behind the dish. And Jackson Glick DHing. But anyone you're excited to see out here for this Mustangs lineup, depending on just defensively?
Defensively, because I was going to go offensively. Honestly, I want to see Easton Bruce, how he works out there in left. Freeman and Gall are speed guys in the right and center field spots and good defenders. But I want to see a guy like a Trevor McCullum or a Logan Miller, some guy who really can track down baseballs, get good jumps, good reads. And I haven't seen Bruce play the outfield, so I'm curious to see how the Washburn product does out there.
I agree. For the Clarinda A's, in terms of their lineup, leading off, Kai Holiday. Following him is Joey Caruso. Sean Bazemore hitting third. Connor McNatt DHing, hitting fourth. Drake Cobb hitting fifth. Tyler Macon hitting sixth. Evan Smallwood at second base hitting seventh. Lath Holiday in right. And Mark Henderson will be behind the dish and hitting in the 9-hole.
One thing to note, the A's do not have a home run yet this season.
Yeah, I noticed that when I was kind of looking at this. It's an interesting because this A's team, in terms of all-around stats, is one of the most productive offensive teams in the entire league. And so for them to not even have a single home run yet on the year, as that one's crushed out to Freeman in center. No problems for him, as that's the first out for Camden Lutz and the Mustangs.
That was a good jump by Freeman. That's never where you want to be as an outfielder, going straight back. Did a good job of getting behind and actually taking that ball laterally just a tad instead of trying to catch that one over his head, looking back like Jim Edmonds. I think that was one of the greatest plays ever made, but it should never have happened.
That one's going to be an easy play for Mose at first base. So quick 2 outs in the top of the first for Camden Lutz. Sean Bazemore stepping in now for the A's, and he leads the entire Mink League in RBIs, although no one on base for him right now to grow his RBI total.
He also supporting a 371 average and a 446 on base. Really, this A's lineup with Bazemore, Holiday, and the other Holiday who's hitting a little lower. 371 for Bazemore, Kai Holiday hitting 414, and Lath Holiday hitting 361. Those are three guys with averages higher than I think the highest batting average on the Mustangs outside of Frank Gall, who doesn't qualify.
Yeah, there's some serious hitters on this A's team, and that's exactly what I noticed when I was just kind of getting to know their team. As, again, we've only seen the A's once this year, and that was one of the first couple games of the entire year. That one is hit well for Bazemore. Bruce has no chance as it's going to hit off the wall. And Bazemore is going to get a stand-up double with 2 outs here in the top of the first inning.
Now, if you're Lutz, you can't let that deter you. You got 2 quick outs. You are one of the best pitchers on your very talented pitching staff. So it happens. You give up a hard-hit double, tip your cap, move on, go after the next guy.
So Bazemore's 371 average on the year will increase. Now it's Connor McNatt stepping in and fouling off the first pitch fastball.
The last time the A's and Mustangs played at home, Landon Reith was on the bump. Camden Lutz made an appearance out of the bullpen, but had a 1-2-3 inning, so they haven't seen him too much.
The 0-1 misses up. So 1-1 with Bazemore on second, and McNatt looking to do what a cleanup hitter typically does and drive in some runs. Next pitch is in the exact same spot. Now, when you miss twice in the same spot, does that get in your head at all, Tyler, as a pitcher?
It depends on where you miss. If you miss close like that, it doesn't. You made a good pitch, executed. If you start missing a foot outside, that one misses upstairs. If you start missing a foot outside, you have to make a visual adjustment. Instead of thinking, I'm going to hit the outside corner and it goes a foot outside, you think maybe throwing down the middle and you'll hit the outside corner. It's the easiest way. We call it poor man's mechanics. Easiest change you can make during the course of a game.
That one could stay in play, and it just leaves the field of play here at Phil Welch. Jaden Little almost had a chance for his first fielding opportunity at third base on the year, but it was just that.
Right, Taro, the intern, had a chance at making his first play, and he went for the old cover the head tactic. It's not really conducive for catching fly balls, but whatever works out there for Rytaro.
A big pitch here for Camden Lutz and the Mustangs. The full count. Misses down. Ooh, that was close.
That was interesting because McNatt thought he walked and Dom Felix thought he struck out, but umpire pretty quickly gave that the free pass. No, he stuck to his choice, I guess, wherever that was. It's hard to see from up here.
I think it was down, if anything. It was definitely close, but it might have been a little down. That would be what I would go with. Drake Cobb stepping in now as the threat grows here in the top of the first inning.
This is the same umpire we had against the Merchants on Wednesday. And if you even look at the highlight video, there were a ton of questionable calls behind the plate on both sides.
That one's hit out to Freeman in center field. It should be caught, and it is. So the A's threaten here in Lutz's first inning of work, but get nothing to score. We're going to go to the bottom of the first inning where the Mustangs are going to look to score first. Welcome back to Phil Welch Stadium. Before we get things going in the bottom of the first inning, we're going to take a look at the defensive setup for the Clarinda A's. Left field, Tyler Macon. Center field, Kai Holiday. Left field, Lath Holiday. At third base, it's Joey Caruso. Sean Bazemore at short. Evan Smallwood at second base. Drake Cobb at first. On the mound, Luke Spencer and Mark Henderson pitching for the A's. Now, in terms of the Mustangs, offensively, Darius Freeman leading off. Mason Holton following him. He's on deck. Carson Schrack behind him. Jeter Mose at first and hitting cleanup. Easton Bruce, his first time in the field and in the lineup today. Or, excuse me, doing both. Hitting fifth. Dom Felix hitting sixth. Jaden Little at third. Jackson Glick DHing. And Frank Gall in right field. A lot of names. But back to the pitcher, Luke Spencer. This is the first time he's thrown versus the Mustangs this year. Again, they've only faced each other twice. That one from Freeman is hit well out into the gap. It could be trouble, but tracked down by Holiday out there in center field. I thought we were thinking extra bases to start this thing off for Darius Freeman.
Kai Holiday, we mentioned his bat, but was a threat with the glove both in the first game and in his season at Lenoir-Rhyne University. He also had 22 stolen bases, which it doesn't exactly correlate, but there's a relation between guys who are fast and guys that can play defense, especially in the outfield.
I think we've seen this year with, I think in our opinion, the best center fielders may not be the fastest players with this Mustangs team. I think Logan Miller comes to mind when I think of the best, and McCullum's right there too. Another one hit well. forcing Holiday to turn around, but again, showcasing some speed and bringing that one in. So 2 quick outs for the Mustangs. Now it's Carson Schrack stepping up with 2 outs in the bottom of the first inning.
You know, I'm looking for Holton as a turning point for him. He's been struggling a bit. He had a couple hits yesterday, or excuse me, on Wednesday, but they weren't hit solid. That ball was ripped. And when you're at the plate and you put that good wood on it in your first at-bat, you don't think about the result. You think about the contact. And that's going to be something that Holton should be able to continue on through the rest of the game.
It can always be a frustrating feeling when that happens. One of those moments where you kind of have to tell yourself that, you know, it's just part of the game.
At the same time, there's no one on, so it's not like you missed an opportunity for your team. You had a good swing, and you're like, okay, I saw it well. Next at bat, I'm going to do more damage.
Schrack fouls off the 2-1 pitch. So far this year, Luke Spencer's thrown 14 in the third innings, giving up 5 hits, 15 hits, 5 runs, 7 walks to 11 strikeouts, ERA of about 3.14 and a 1.5 whip. So I would say that pretty typical stats for a pitcher to have. Nothing blows me away when I look at those. What about you, Tyler?
The only outlier I see is the amount of hits he's given up. Right, his walk rate, about walking one guy every 2 innings. Not bad, not good, but he's given up 15 hits in less than 15 innings, about a hit an inning. So he's able to work out of trouble. That shows me he likes to get ahead. It's the turf monster.
Henderson tripped, able to gather himself and make the play, though. That's a tough play without tripping. So Henderson makes the good play, and we're going to go to the top of the second inning now, where we're still knotted up 0-0. Zero is a score. I'm Charlie Marshall alongside Tyler Bermundo as we both welcome you back to Phil Welch Stadium on this lovely June 28th, Friday afternoon. About 89 degrees was the temperature during the first pitch today. A little bit of an overcast, but not too cloudy. Good weather for baseball.
Oh, I'll tell you, what's going to be great weather is there's going to be 4 home games in a row, Wednesday to Saturday next week, over July 4th as well. It's supposed to be like lows of 60s, highs of 78, sunny across the board.
Yeah, I
that
look forward to that.
Perfect weather.
I'll tell you what, in Mexico, not great weather. I went to Playa del Carmen. Wasn't the best weather. It kind of rained a lot. Unfortunate, but still a lot of fun.
How long were you out there, Charlie?
I was there for about 6 days, so I was ready to come back.
There's no Phil Welch Stadium out there.
There isn't. I missed Phil Welch is what it came down to. The 2-2 from Lutz is swung on and missed. So that's a strikeout for Camden Lutz, his first of the day. He sends Tyler Macon back to the dugout. He's making Lutz's strikeout total go up. Looks like Evan Smallwood got the honors of the taco hitter tonight, Tyler.
Yes, big honor. We were on like a 5-game streak, and then lost it against the Ban Johnson Raiders. But last game, the taco hitter was Arrington Eason. His first 5 plate appearances, he does not strike out. But then between the 8th inning and extras, he struck out 3 times in a row.
Oh.
So talk about some, like you didn't have any hope for your strikeout, your taco strikeout. Then you get 3. It was incredible.
Well, Lutz just 1 pitch away now. That one won't do it as it missed up. Count moves to 2-2.
Smallwood, 17 Ks and 57 at-bats. That is pretty high. He's second on the team in strikeouts. Not a bad pick.
Yeah, I feel like some research might be done prior when you look at some of these taco hitters. And again, Felix thought he had strike 3, and instead it's ball 4 to Evan Smallwood. One out, one on now for the A's. Lath Holiday stepping in now. He's been, like we already mentioned, one of the better hitters for this A's team. Kind of surprising to me that you have a guy hitting 361 in your 9 spot, or excuse me, your 8 hole.
Well, I understand the 9 hole, kind of your second leadoff man, but the 8 spot?
Not really sure what just happened out on the field.
I don't either. I looked down.
Well, I looked up, and I see Evan Smallwood running to second base, and now he's going back to first. So initially he was called out. He just left the base. I'm not sure if he thought there was a balk called or what the situation was, but he just started walking to second base.
I would assume it was a balk call that he thought he heard. And then I see Camden Lutz fire the ball over to Carson Schrack, and it's like the ball was live. It's an interesting play. They're going to leave him at first, so we'll have to look at that back on replay at some point, but it just goes down as a waste of time.
That's a good way to put it. Back to Lath Holiday, though, hitting 361 in your 8 hole. It's just kind of random. I don't understand it a ton. He also leads the team, or is second on the team in on base percentage. So he gets on base, he hits well, yet he's still down here in the 8 spot.
And maybe it's just to make sure there's some balance in your lineup, but it's pretty unheard of to have a guy that good and that hot hitting so low. I've seen, again, a second leadoff man, and maybe when you're playing in youth league, when you got some like automatic outs, you may want to put one guy there just so you're not getting out of every inning. But at this level, it seems a little interesting.
It seems like that's a question for head coach Ryan Eberle. So the 0-2 was fouled off, so we're going to do it again. This one's going to be grounded to Little. An unfortunate hop, and it shoots under the glove of Jane Little. So it looked like a potential double play results in a double for Lath Holiday.
I don't know if he would have turned 2, but that's a very unfortunate play. It might have hit the lip of the grass. It looks like what Jaden Little is kicking right there. And really the only thing he could have done is made it a more aggressive effort to get in front of that ball and body it. But it seemed like a pretty routine play to me, and really just unfortunate break for the Mustangs.
Yeah, never what you want to see, especially for Little. It's going to be his first ground ball of the year at third, and it just bites the turf or the little grass bead, right? Or not bead, just grass, and shoots out to left field.
It's always the debate between turf and grass infields, and with a turf field, you're not going to get that. Charlie, what do you like playing on more, turf or grass?
I like turf. That's just me, though. I feel like behind the dish when I'm catching, I'm in a huge hole by the time the end of the game when it's dirt. When it's turf, it's nice the whole game. Easier to block. What about you?
I'd say at the professional level, probably grass because it's what the game was played on, and hops won't be too bad. But when you're playing at a level...
That one from Henderson's going to be shot up the middle. It's going to score 2 as Freeman bobbles it out there in center field. So 1 out, 2 RBI single for Mark Henderson. Just like that, the Mustangs are down 0-2 rather quickly.
Like I was saying about the fields, when you're at the highest level, you're going to have people who are able to maintain those fields. And when you have a perfectly maintained grass field, I think there's nothing better.
Yeah, that's the perfect answer. A perfect dirt grass field beats a turf field any day. But in terms of what we play on, and really anyone until you get to the professional level, it's got to be turf. So if you're Lutz now, in a way, both of those base runners, the walk to Smallwood and then the kind of the congestion on the base pass, and then we see an unfortunate bounce led to his 2 runners being on. He doesn't probably feel like he's being hit around, yet he's down 2-0.
It's the same thing as in life. Why would you dwell on something you can't change? It's in the past. It's unlucky. And you've only given up 2 runs. You got a Mustangs team behind you that is known for putting up runs. They put up 4 yesterday, which is enough to get the job done. They put up 11 the game before. I wouldn't be too worried. Just come back and pitch your own game.
Lutz getting squeezed a little bit now, just in terms of his opinion.
It's the same umpire we had against the Merchants, and I mentioned that there was a lot of brutal calls, again, on both sides, where the entire team, really both teams, disagree with the call, but the umpire gives it to him anyway.
So in steps Joey Caruso, who also is tied with Sean Bazemore for the Mink League record 24 RBIs. This one is not an RBI, as it's going to be thrown off the head of Kai Holiday. Jeter Mazos sent a rocket to Mason Holton at shortstop, and Holiday got lucky, unlucky, however you look at it. He's safe, and the Mustangs get no outs.
Camden Lutz a little frustrated. I don't blame him. That's the most unfortunate thing that could have happened. A routine double play ball. Mose made a great play. The only thing he could have done differently, and he probably would have been able to get the return throw to first, is get out of the running lane, maybe take a step inside, but that would have taken a lot of time.
Yeah,
One of those
Holiday's
things
quick.
that's just so unlucky. It's just glad the ball didn't kick farther.
Yeah, kind of funny how it dropped right back down to Holton. The curveball, 0-1 makes it 0-2. Lutz maybe trying to do it himself after not errors, just unfortunate elements in the field. Another one chopped super high, and there's no play.
Just got a feel for the guy now.
I mean, how many times can we say unfortunate in one inning? An infield single for Sean Bazemore as he adds RBI number 25 or 27 to his total this year.
And I get that he walked a couple guys, and you can chalk that to maybe 1 run being pushed across, but he's got maybe 4 or 5 outs in the inning. If you take the average of those balls in play, their exit velocity, and their launch angle, just really unfortunate. We call it BABIP, batting average on balls in play. And the A's in this game is tremendously high.
Yeah, I mean, every ball is just finding a hole right now, or a hole, or finding a way on. There's really no way to put it. As that one hit well out to right field, that's Frank Gall, who runs out of room as it lands just beyond the wall out there and right.
Ironically enough, one of the hardest hit balls all day was Kai Holiday back as the first batter of the game, and Darius Tree made a play on it.
So now Connor McNatt, the cleanup guy, up in a cleanup's dream. Bases loaded. Again, no home runs on the year for the A's, so
It shocks me, too, because it's not like their field is any bigger than anything else a college guy would play on. And they don't have the short porch and right that we have here, but it's about 325 foot of the corners.
that one shot out there to Bruce and left. He's going to have to go back to make the grab. He will do that. He's going to throw to third. Holton, not sure what's going on there. Just lackadaisical fielding is going to let the runners both advance, and that just cannot happen at this level of baseball.
So I'll start with Bruce, and that's a sign of a good outfielder. He was able to get behind that baseball, and obviously there was no play there. He throws that ball in a little offline, but just laziness both from Little and Holton. I mean, Holton was just...
Well, Holton has to be on the bag before that ball's even caught. There's no doubt about that, and he wasn't.
And credit to the Clarinda runners for picking up on that. But really just sloppy play so far for the Mustangs. I get it, things haven't gone Camden Lutz's way. But as a defense, you got to step up and help your pitcher out.
So now 4 runs have plated. Still only 2 outs. This inning has kind of gotten out of hand a little bit for the Mustangs. That's Drake Cobb sending one foul. So Lutz just 1 strike away from getting out of this nightmare of an inning. Still trying to limit the damage as the A's have 2 runners in scoring position. That's Joey Caruso and Sean Bazemore.
I'm Cam Lutz here. Just went fastball up and in. You could go with the breaking ball. It's probably what the batter's thinking. It was a setup pitch. You go fastball away, and you should freeze him.
So now we're full fastball misses on the inside half.
Little two-seamer right there.
Ball 4 to Drake Cobb. So now the A's have officially batted around here in the second inning.
For Camden Lutz, he might be out there for maybe 8 minutes right now. This has got to feel like one of those innings that feels like half an hour.
Well, he's only had, he's had 3 walks now, so.
It's not all his fault, don't get me wrong. But he's not innocent as well. He hasn't helped himself out. And just unfortunate luck. The play at third, that's just bad defense, lazy defense. Everything else, it's part of the game, and it's pretty rare that you get so many like fluke hits in a row. At the same time, he's got to find the zone again and salvage the start a bit. I'd love to see Camden Lutz work out of this and get maybe 5 innings of work in. Of course, when the Mustangs played the Merchants, Jace Johnson threw 5+ innings out of the bullpen. And that's very good for him, but not something that you're going to get every game.
So Tyler Macon up now. Good news for Lutz. He already struck him out once today. If you're Tyler Macon, you do not want to make 2 outs in 1 inning. That is never a good feeling.
It's crazy to see this inning, or this inning started off with a K. Is that correct?
It did.
Wow.
This one chopped foul down the third base line. 1-2's your count.
Forget being the second out in the inning. The only 2 Ks for Camden Lutz if he gets one right here.
Lutz trying to make the best of the worst. As that one's fouled off behind the Mustangs dugout. Count remains 1-2. I think if you ask Lutz, he does not care how he gets this out. He just wants to end this inning.
And I think him getting the reset next inning, if he gets out of here, he should be able to dial in. It's going to show us what kind of a pitcher he is. If he lets the inning previous affect him, or is he able to flush and have a short-term memory and go after guys?
Another foul ball. Count remains 1-2. Right now it's Joey Caruso at third, Sean Bazemore at second, and Drake Cobb at first base. The 1-2 pitch. Way outside. About halfway into the left-hander batter's box.
We talk about competitive misses as a pitcher, and that's not one of them. That's considered a waste pitch, not even a setup pitch. Something so far away the batter gets to breathe a bit.
This one's going to be popped up. This one should be in play. A lot of communication out there. It's going to be Schrack, who went all the way out into shallow right field to make that grab. He had enough of that inning, and I think we had too. So that's going to be it for the top of the second inning. We're going to see if the Mustangs can find a way to fight back here in the bottom of the second inning when we return. Junior Mose leading things off as he looks to get this comeback rolling for the St. Joseph Mustangs. Hitting .326 on the year with 12 RBIs.
The Mustangs playing from behind again. They were able to come back from an 8-run deficit on Wednesday, and the story to that was not playing hero ball. A lot of guys working counts, finding ways on base, and chipping away at that lead. And this lead is half the size of the one they saw on Wednesday.
Yeah, with this much baseball left, the 4-0 deficit it's not too big. I would agree. That one's not going to help, though. This is going to be a fly out to center field. Sky Holiday came all the way into shallow center, deep second base, whatever you want to call it, to make that play. Bruce hasn't had too much action yet this year, as he was hurt to start the year.
It's a back injury. He batted .314, though, in a small sample size at Washburn, 77 at-bats and 2 home runs.
I would expect to see a decent amount of Easton Bruce if you're a Mustangs fan. Typically with summer ball, these guys, you're trying to get their innings, and so if him being hurt to start the year, I would assume head coach Johnny Coy is going to get him some innings. The 0-2 pitch to Easton Bruce misses up as Spencer let that one fly.
Again, competitive misses. You want to throw a high fastball in that count to set up potential breaking ball. But that ball's so high, you can't tunnel it, and the batter doesn't really have to worry about it.
Spencer so far has had 4 batters and 4 flyouts. So if you're a Mustangs hitter, what does that tell you if you're going up there watching the first 4 batters fly out?
It's one of two things. One, it could be your approach at the plate as a team, or it shows me that guy has a lot of backspin on his fastball. Big 4-seamer, stays above barrels, and now we work on maybe trying to hit one-hoppers, and with that backspin, those are the ones that tend to fly and go a long way.
So Bruce has worked it from 0-2 to 3-2. It's going to be a full count to Easton Bruce. And he misses in. So Spencer had him kind of dead to rights, 0-2, and loses them on 4 straight balls, and none of which were really that close.
People sometimes have lapses of the strike zone. That time looked like he was trying to be too cute, and then he just couldn't find his way back to making competitive pitches. When you're up in the count 0-2, you don't have to be perfect out there. You don't have to make the perfect pitch, especially when you've been rolling so far through this game.
In steps Dom Felix. Felix hitting .310, 9 RBIs. He leads the team with 3 home runs. He likes to play on the road.
I was just about to say, Dom, I haven't seen him hit great at Phil Welch, but his stats always come back a lot better than they were.
He goes on these road trips and he comes back with an average about 30 points higher, a couple extra RBIs, home run or 2.
Maybe having less fans at a game helps him out, calms him down a bit, rather than getting 2,000 people at Phil Welch.
Sometimes it might just be a coincidence. You know what I mean? Like, it might not really be that big of a deal. He just might have played a little better on the games on the road.
Or they steal signs on the road.
I mean, who knows? So Spencer's attacked Felix with a fastball so far as he picks off to Easton Bruce. He gets back safely.
Also, remember with Felix, you start off the year like 1 for 20. You take away those first 5-6 games, and he's probably batting .400 the rest of the season.
Yeah, well, he had to catch every game to start the year. There was no off days for Dominic Felix.
Hepburn was in the
College World Series with Johnson County. Now I'm sure it's, I mean, in the summer like this, when you're playing this many games in this heat, I mean, even professionally, guys are only starting catchers aren't really getting more than 5 games a week, 4 games a week, really. And these guys play a professional schedule. They play almost every day. They're lucky if they get a day or 2 off in the week.
46-game schedule, and it's not even 2 months. It's wild.
Spencer in danger of losing another one. The 3-1 pitch is swung through by Dominic Felix.
You take some off of that, or you just missed it?
To me, it looked like a changeup or something because there was no breaking action, but it was definitely pretty slow.
Or a get-me-over fastball.
Could have just been one of those guys, you just lob it in there. I agree.
I have a feeling Bruce is going to go. Just stay out of the double play ball.
Well, a lot of the time pitchers like to pick off with a full count just because that's typically a running situation. The 3-2 to Dom Felix is hit well, but right to Holiday. Already 3 lineouts to center field today for these Mustang hitters.
Unlucky. It's kind of been the story of the game for the Mustangs. Unlucky. Hi, Kai Turner. He made a little appearance in front of our camera.
The good news is your luck can turn around, right? We're only in the 2nd inning. It's Jaden Little now, who's playing 3rd today. His first time playing really anywhere but first, and I think he's played a little bit of right. Is that one hit hard off the bat? Holiday, again, ranging all the way back to the warning track to make this grab. So Little got a lot of that one, but needed just a little more. We're going to leave it there in the bottom of the 2nd inning. When we return, the A's look to grow their lead. Welcome back to Phil Welch Stadium. I'm Charlie Marshall alongside Tyler Bermundo. Camden Lux back out there for his third inning of work after a really weird second inning, which featured the A's picking up 4 runs on 4 hits, only one of them leaving the infield.
Yeah, the hardest hit balls are the ones that were outs.
So now it's Evan Smallwood, and he's the one who got the entire inning started.
With a walk.
With a walk, yes.
That was the other story of the inning, though. You can't
3
put all the
walks,
blame on
yeah.
bad luck in the defense. He did walk 3 guys, not something that Camden Lutz is known for.
Holton picks up the easy hop, fires over to Mose for the first out of the inning. So this time Smallwood will not be getting a rally going for these A's.
Today was also Minion Night, as we saw in the YMCA, that didn't really have lyrics. It was just minions making their noise. There's also Mustangs koozies given away to the first 100 guests, while also being beer night, $1.50 beer of Busch Light.
So many reasons to come out to Phil Welch Stadium.
The promotional schedule is better than MLB schedules. Promotional.
I
think
agree.
so.
I would agree. I'm waiting on bobblehead night. Is that a thing here at Phil Welch?
Bobblehead night. I'm not sure. Tomorrow's the Hall of Fame pregame ceremony. Pregame kids run the field. Fireworks. And sponsorships. It's unbelievable. It's every night there's like 3 different things going on.
What else do you need? That's Lath Holiday flying, shooting one over into the parking lot a little bit. There's another parking lot kind of farther away. Do you ever contemplate parking over there and making the walk to preserve your car, Tyler?
I'd rather preserve my legs, Charlie. I heard there's this thing. So I go to the gym 6 days a week, but there's this like thing people do. It's a word. It's like called cardio.
Okay.
Is that pronounced right?
Yeah, cardio.
Cardio. I don't know. I don't really see the point in it.
You don't like.
Or leg day, to be honest. I don't get that one either.
So Lutz locking back in here, and in the third inning, as you correctly predicted he would.
Yeah, Lutz's goal now should break it up into a couple games. He gave up 4 runs in the first 2. Now, can I go the next 3 innings? Maybe not.
That one shot down the line. It's going to be a double at least. Bruce gets it in. Actually, a great throw from Easton Bruce. Scratch the double. He's gunned down. As that's Mark Henderson, the catcher, trying to stretch a single into a double. Well played out there from Bruce. As that's going to be it here for the top of the third. When we go to the bottom half, A's lead it 4-0. Welcome back to St. Joseph, Missouri. Looking at Jackson Glick dig in to start this bottom half of the third inning. Glick on the year hitting .255. On base percentage a little low. So not the greatest start to the year. I guess we're kind of in the middle of the year at this point.
Yeah, he's drawn 7 walks in his 55 at bats, so that'd be about 62 plate appearances. Sorry, 62 plate appearances. It's about average in terms of working the count. Doesn't have a home run yet. I know he's got the power. 5 doubles in his out of his 14 hits. He does like that left center gap, though. I've noticed that a lot with him. He doesn't have.
Not sure if that ball was caught or not. It looks like it was.
By who?
You know, I was out there in left field. And a really, really weird play is Tyler Macon came running in right next to the wall, made the play, but he kind of lost in the lights and like almost turned around and just stuck his glove up and hoped for the best, and he caught it.
Prayer, I guess.
So now it's Frank Gall, who he's having a good year. I think we've all been kind of waiting on him to play a little bit more this year. He was about 2 inches from having a triple.
He's definitely got a ton of speed, Gall, as well. Doesn't play the most, but second in the team in stolen bases.
Gall fresh off a season at Maple Woods where he won the Maple Woods Male Athlete of the Year. A two-way player at the JUCO level. That one, a weird-looking swing, but it's just going to shoot foul. I was going to say it's going to get the job done, but it missed it by, again, a couple inches. So he's now had 2 extra base hits wiped off the scorecard by just a hair.
Yeah, Charlie, a couple inches can make all the difference in this game.
It really can. It truly can. Gall with an on-base percentage almost above 500. As again, this one not going to get past the first baseman. So 2 quick outs. The Mustangs not looking exactly alive here offensively to start this game.
This is the guy you want now to spark your offense. Freeman could very well hit in the 3 spot in this lineup with his power, but he's a spark plug. Not only is he a fast guy at the top of the lineup that gets on, but he just brings energy. He's the guy you want to rally and galvanize your team.
And Freeman, in his first at-bat, hit a ball pretty well out there to center field. But it was just reeled in by Holiday, and that's kind of been the story of the game so far. Credit to Luke Spencer, though. He's really been pitching well so far.
He's been around the zone outside of that 1 walk to Easton Bruce and mixing up speeds. Not a lot of strikeouts in his game today, if any, but is going right after guys, and he's pitching fearless.
Yeah, no strikeouts and just 1 walk. And on that walk, he was ahead of Bruce 0-2. Looks like Spencer's had enough with that ball.
Couldn't really do much better with the one he just got
He
from the
didn't
umpire.
appear to like the second one much either. So 1-2 right now to Darius Freeman. And even with 2 outs, you're down 4. Just chip away.
I don't like that pitch from Spencer at all. A slider that missed on the outside part of the plate. Much more of a waste pitch.
A quick pitch changeup to the left-hander. And it got Freeman swinging. So that's what we're going to leave you with here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Leading things off in the top of the 4th inning, leadoff hitter, Kai Holiday.
I want to see the Mustangs come out with some energy. After that strikeout from Freeman, most of the guys, a very light jog, are walking out to their position, and that really helps out a team when guys want to be out there. If you're coming out here and just saying, oh, I want to be done with this game, you're not going to come back. Someone's got to start a rally. Someone's got to give this team some energy.
Well, that's baseball. But that being such these long games and such long seasons, you know, they kind of call what we're in right now, metaphorically, like the dog days of summer. You know what I mean? It's hot. Is that one from Holiday is going to be hit sharply up the middle. He's going to boost his average. But it can be tough, especially when you get down early in these games, to stay focused.
I agree, but this should be a game that's marked on their calendar. Against a team like they're 5 games back, but this is the team that's been the hottest in the Mink League. Don't you want to put an end to that? Don't you want to lengthen your lead out in the Mink League standings?
Yeah, I think every other game this season, coming into it, there really hasn't been any kind of debate on who has been the hotter team. Whereas right now, if you look at that's Holiday taking off for second. He slides in safely. The good throw, but still no chance. Holiday just too quick.
Yeah, he was flying.
The A's are on a 6-game winning streak. Mustangs have lost one of their last 2.
And the Mustangs were on a 10-game win streak before that.
Yeah, I mean, in their last 13 games, the Mustangs have won 12. So they're playing good baseball. But the A's have won 13 games in their last 14. So, I mean, no matter how far you go back, the A's have just, in the last 15 kind of games, the A's have just, they've won more games. And so as the Mustangs team being in first place, you should, like you mentioned, maybe take a little, not offense to that, but just be a little hungrier.
And the A's who've won games haven't played a team like the Mustangs.
That swing there from Caruso was not pretty.
The A's came back with a vengeance, you know? The Mustangs just kind of playing their game. They've been hot, but the A's want this more than the Mustangs. That's what I've been seeing so far throughout this game.
Sean Bazemore now in with a chance to pick up his second RBI on the night. It's going to be a ball out there to Bruce. Hit too well, though. So he'll have to wait to try and grow his RBI total on the year. His league-leading RBI total.
We didn't talk about Bruce's play out there in left. He made it look way easier than it should have been. I mentioned at the beginning of the game, how is he going to field out there, not being the fastest guy in the world, but he plays a very good corner outfield. Tracks down balls nicely and does a good job.
Yeah, you're talking about the one to end the last inning where he gunned down Mark Henderson trying to turn a single into a double.
And the little things, too. He was able to hit the cutoff man right there.
Bazemore takes off. No throw from Felix.
Now, it did. I'm going to say he allowed it so the runner wouldn't advance to second.
That one hit well foul.
Had the distance.
It did have the distance. McNatt's hit a couple balls really well foul so far tonight. In his 2 plate appearances, he's a fly out to left field and then a walk. He's 0-2 right now. As the umpires again meeting in the middle of the field to converse. Not really sure what they could be talking about.
I'm confused as well. It's a delay? Heard there was tornado warnings and thunderstorms, no?
Technically, here in St. Joe, we are under tornado watch, but that's not all that uncommon here in the middle in the Midwest, especially in Missouri. But yeah, I'm not sure what they're doing right now. I mean, it's a little cloudy, but it's not raining at all. I haven't seen any lightning, heard any thunder. I don't know about you, Tyler.
I got nothing from my end.
I don't know what that. I mean, I've really never seen that before.
There's been so many things, like we always talk about different stuff happening in football. There's been so many things this game that I haven't seen. The Mose, when he threw the ball to second base off the dome of the runner on first. It's really an awkward game. Or when the guy thought he balked, ran to second, was tagged out. Like, really a weird day here at Phil Welch.
But back to the action on the field. It's 0-2 to Connor McNatt as Camden Lutz looks for his second out of the inning, and a strikeout would go a long way in helping him get out of this one without giving up any more runs.
For some reason, 4 runs doesn't seem that far away, but if you get to 5 or 6, it feels drastically more. I guess 4 runs you can get in one swing, but anything past that, you feel you got to really chip away. I also wonder, as your team doesn't have any home runs in the year, when you have a short porch 309 to right field, there's a oh my goodness.
That's a crazy call, but it's going to be strike 3.
Wow.
Connor McNatt does not agree, and
I don't agree.
you can't really be too mad at him.
I don't agree, and I'm on the Mustangs side. That was brutal.
Well, it's been a night of unfortunate events for Cam Lutz, but he'll take that one. Now stepping in is Drake Cobb, who he's 0 for 1 with a flyout and a walk.
Cobb hitting in the 5 hole. He's only batting .219 and doesn't have an extra base hit. Kind of an interesting spot in the lineup for him.
I mean, he's a bigger guy out there in the 5 hole. That one's shot out to right field all the way to the short porch warning track, but no problem for Gall out there in right field. So the A's get 2 on, but they strand 2 in scoring position. Maybe a momentum change here for the Mustangs. Looking at Mason Holton right now as he stepped up, and he's been in a bit of a run as of lately. His first at-bat, he had a ball about 100 miles an hour out there to Kai Holiday in center field.
Now squared him up first time around. I expect good things for Holton the rest of the day.
Now he gets ahead 2-0. It's been a weird day for Luke Spencer. He's been very effective, very dominant, but not a lot of strikeouts. Has 1 strikeout, has 1 walk. Holton mad at himself there as he threw out a check swing.
It's one thing to check swing on a 2-0 count. It's just a fastball in the corner. I don't really know what enticed him about that, especially as a guy who's known for pulling the ball quite a bit.
Same pitch. This time Holton swings through it. So typically ahead in the count, you're looking for your pitch like you just mentioned. Holton offering a couple fastballs, maybe a little outside. The 2-2 pitch to Mason Holton is going to be crushed foul. Heads up. That was almost bad. Wonder where the horse went. We had the horse out there tonight for the national anthem running the warning track.
You know, we were on ESPN like 10 years ago because of a horse that went haywire.
Holton swings over the off speed. So after going through the lineup entirely, he faced 9 hitters without a strikeout. He struck out the 1 and 2 hitters the second time through the order.
He got Holton into chase mode. One a fastball that he took for a strike, and then a fastball up and away, probably off the plate. Breaking ball inside. He knew he had to throw something that looked like a strike, and he did just that.
So now it's Carson Schrack. Coffeyville prodigy committed to Arkansas.
I'm waiting for Schrack to really show us what he can do. He's had an okay season, but not a Carson Schrack kind of season.
That one hit well. But, I mean, I've said it a lot tonight. Right to Holiday.
You got to keep putting good swings on the ball. And I hope the Mustangs don't change their approach too much and just hope that they start falling, because they should.
I've written down L8 for what it's worth 5 times on my score sheet.
Yeah, a couple of them right at Kai Holiday, a couple he had to really go for, but good job patrolling center by him.
This time Mose's first pitch swinging, but fouled off.
And when Luke Spencer does that quick pitch thing, it not only messes with the hitter's timing or their leg kick, it also makes him panic a bit. Sometimes you see a ball remotely close the zone, you feel like you have to pull the trigger just because he sped you up.
Yeah, I mean, as a hitter, you want to stay, as calm, as relaxed, as unwinded as possible in hitting. Feel loose up there. And, yeah, when you're getting sped up like that, you kind of tense up almost just naturally. He's mixed it in really well. It's kind of almost caught me off guard every time I've seen it. Like, it's not something he's gone to a lot, but he's done it enough to where you're just, it's kind of in the back of your head.
And if you could do that while also throwing other pitches, not just fastballs, you can really fool people. That's what he got Darius Freeman on, a quick pitch changeup.
Jose took about a quarter of a swing at that one. It's going to be 3-1.
Actually a good changeup, though. Changeup on the inside part of the plate, but it looked just like a fastball that he saw earlier in their at-bat.
That one's hit well into that right center gap, but camped under and caught his Holiday. So the Holidays are catching everything out there for the Athletics in this one. Still 4-0. When we return, it'll be the top of the 5th inning. new pitcher here for the Mustangs as we welcome you back to Phil Welch Stadium. It's Landon Reith, the freshman out of Pitt State, Division II school in Kansas. Reith was a first-team All-State performer his senior year of high school. He posted a 1.71 ERA as that one's hit up to Schrack up the middle. Is going to have to be quick, but he's not quick enough.
Said Mose pulled his foot, no? I thought he got him by a step. It was a great pick by Mose, but couldn't keep his foot on.
So that will go down as an error against Schrack, or how would you book that? A hit? Kind of
Probably
a tough
going to
play.
be an infield hit, just because it wasn't routine.
So an infield single to start Reith's day. But I was saying, had a 1.71 ERA senior year of high school with 58 strikeouts and 42 innings pitched. But then he redshirted in 2023 at Pitt, and then appeared 15 games. So he's pitched a good amount in his college career.
He has. He also pitched against the Monarchs when they walked him off. That was last Thursday. And Reith was going to have a bit of a, I call it a pass ball there by Dom Felix. He went 5 innings, 7 strikeouts, 1 walk. The big thing that gets him is typically the base on ball. He did a good job of eliminating that. And he threw 5 great innings, fell apart in the 6th. But Reith, when he's around the zone, is very effective.
As again, taking off for third is Tyler Macon.
He just timed him up. He did that twice, actually.
That one shot out to left field. So not the best start for Landon Reith, as the A's have already grown their lead to 5 now.
Reith's got a wicked slider, but when you start behind in the count like that, it's very hard for you to weave that into your pitch mix. He also can use it as a get-ahead pitch, but he just hasn't settled in this game enough yet.
And a pitcher like Reith, who might be more, rationalized to starting, maybe a little different when you have to come out of the pen during summer ball.
You have time to really get feel for your pitches in the pen or out on the mound when you're coming out of the bullpen. As a starter, you get time to polish some stuff up, kind of work on your mental game as a reliever, especially with a guy that didn't work all that long. You don't really have time to prepare not only physically but mentally.
Reith has one of those, not balk pickoff moves the first, but he almost fakes home before he throws over.
It's a great move, but as we saw from Macon, he's not a reader. What that means is, as a lefty, when the guy on first makes a move towards second, you typically know to pick off, and if he doesn't, you pitch home. And it's really hard to do, but if you can pull it off, it's so effective for the running game at first. Guys rarely steal off you. There it is.
The backdoor curveball or slider, whatever you want to call it, sends Lath Holliday back to the dugout.
Now that is his pitch. I'd love to see him go to it more often.
But like I was saying, this is his 6th appearance on the year. Half of them have been on the mound starting. Half of them have been in relief. He's thrown 17 innings, given up 15 runs, though. That's some firewood. Out to Mason Holton. He's going to have to go just to first. It wasn't hit hard enough. So a broken bat ground out for Reith. And that's Mark Henderson, who broke his bat.
Now, it doesn't help for the Mustangs gift shop, but every time a Mustangs player breaks their bat, they'll typically be signed and in the gift shop for anywhere from $40 to $60. Kind of a fun souvenir you can get out here.
And some of those bats break, but they don't split in half. Some of them are destroyed. So whatever you're kind of looking for, it's probably in the Mustangs gift shop.
Now, did you hear the about the video the Baseball Bat Bros put out on wood bats?
I've not.
So the case they made is they had a $40 ash bat from Louisville and then like a $50 Marucci, and it went up against high quality wood bats, and they were just as good, which is something very interesting. You don't get much more out of wood bats at a higher price point, and they're made pretty good quality for a little $40 bat. Good swing weight distribution, maybe a little less consistent in terms of the quality, but you might find some good finds with cheaper wood bats. May not be worth spending all that money, or you get a bomb bat, which is basically unbreakable, for $300 and you bite the bullet. But very interesting
that one took a weird hop. It's going to be a tough play for Holton, who gets him.
Man was flying down the line, though.
He was moving. So once Reith found it, it was a quick fifth for him, but the A's got one before he was able to do so. So it's 5-0 now as we head to the bottom half of the fifth inning. Welcome back to Phil Welch Stadium, where the Mustangs trail at 5-0. Easton Bruce leading things off. He walked in his first at-bat after falling down 0-2, and that's actually the only base runner that this Mustang team has had so far today.
No, credit to Luke Spencer getting ahead and being able to use his other pitches. Has a nasty changeup. Got a couple guys with it already. But when you get ahead, we talked about making batters panic a bit. It puts a bit of stress as a hitter if you don't really have many pitches to work with.
This one hit softly out to Smallwood, who easily makes the play. Now it's Dom Felix stepping up, but in between hitters, we're going to take a look at today's Mustangs trivia question of the day. Tyler, I put one together for you. Felt good to come back. I've thought of this question all trip. So the Mustangs lead the Mink League in home runs. My question for you is, how many home runs do they lead the league with?
That's a good question. It's not A, I can tell you that for sure. You got Dom Felix with 3, Darius Freeman with 2, Mose with 2, and Holton has at least 1. So it's not 7. I don't know about 12 either. 12 seems a little high. The same no, Hepburn has 2. I don't think it's 9. I'm between B and C. So if Dom Felix has 3, and I have been looking at stats, but I'm not looking at it right now. If Dom has 3, Hepburn 2, that's 5. Freeman 2, that's 7. Holton has at least 1, that's 8. Mose has 2, that's 10.
A beautiful backhanded play over there by Bazemore at shortstop.
I'm going to give the Mustangs more credit. I'm going to go with 12, but if my second answer would be 10.
Well, you were both wrong. It's 9. So the Mustangs have gathered 9 home runs, and that leads the Mink League. So shout out to them. They could really use a home run right here. I would love to see Jade Little put one over that wall.
How funny would it be if they hit a home run earlier in the game and then you looked at your question and be like, oh, just completely wrong.
That's true. And all of a sudden 10 was correct. That would be a little bit unfortunate.
What's funny, I did the math perfectly. I said Hepburn with 2, Holton with 1, Freeman with 3.
Mosey only has
2.
1.
Oh, Mosey only has 1.
You gave Mosey 2.
So I think that's what the 10 was. And then I just thought there might have been more home runs.
Wow.
I've been on a losing streak in trivia.
Not doing great?
Nope.
2 1s that counts a little. That one is hit well. It's going to be the first hit of the night for Jaden Little. Or for the entire Mustangs team. So the magical night for Luke Spencer gets a little less magical as Jaden Little with a hard hit single. And I mean, it's about time one of those balls got down. It's not like the Mustangs hitters have had a shortage of hard hit baseballs.
That was a perfect from Jaden Little. Pitch on the outside corner and just a great job of staying with it, getting good barrel on it. Really, if the grass wasn't so thick, that's probably a double.
So now we'll see what these Mustangs can do with it. Spencer has now allowed 2 base runners, and I think he's picked off about 4 or 5 times.
He also has the quick pitch. Probably can be pretty quick to the plate when he wants to as well.
Yeah, we haven't seen the quick pitch out of the stretch tonight. We haven't seen really much pitching out of the stretch in general. But you would imagine if he's quick pitching from the windup, he's extremely comfortable doing it from the stretch as well.
He's got Jaden Little out there with 2 outs. Not a guy that's a burner. He can steal bases.
That one's going to be hit. Gloved over there at third base by Caruso, and he fires it. What a play from Joey Caruso at third base. That's going to end the bottom half of the 5th inning. The Mustangs still scoreless, although they did get their first hit of the ball game. Now batting for the Clarinda A's is Joey Caruso, who just made one heck of a play over there at third base to rob Jackson Glick of a single.
Good thing he can field. All seriousness, Landon Reed, that breaking ball he has is so tough for lefties. Backed it up with that little sink run he has. It's a tough matchup. He also has 2 breaking balls. That looked like a slider, that last pitch. And he has a lot more of a, not loopy per se, but a more vertical breaking curveball.
Caruso, one of those hitters, and he is not seeing that off-speed well. He's just one of those hitters who's better with guys on base. He's 24 RBIs on the year, which came in tied for the Mink League record. And again, 3 straight breakers, and Caruso wanted nothing to do with a single one of them.
I was literally going to say, if you're Landon Reed, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. He looked awful on your breaking ball. That's one of the best hitters in the league. You made him look foolish with, I mean, he even threw a breaking ball for a ball, so 4 breaking balls in a row, and Caruso was lost.
That's Caruso's second strikeout of the game. Now it's Bazemore, who's probably the second best in terms of just looking at this. You know, if you're going pure off the eyeball test, the second best hitter on this team.
So with Reith, I'm confused because he threw 4 breaking balls to a lefty. And I know the numbers are there where breaking balls opposite hand to the guy who's throwing aren't as effective. At the same time, you got ahead with it. I'd like to see a couple more there, and then you could maybe finish him off with a fastball. There you go.
There's the breaker. Yeah, Reith, you mentioned it to start his entire night. He loves the slider, breaker, curveball. He needs to use it more often. The 2-2 pitch, he went to it, missed with it. Sometimes I will say left-handers, and you would know this, might tend to, it can be hard to throw the off-speed to right-handed batters. I think the left-handed hitter helps them kind of shape the curveball.
Gives him an aiming point as well. I can see that.
The fastball is what he sets Bazemore down with. So 2 strikeouts for Reith. And he struggled a little bit to start his day, but he's now sat down 5 straight hitters, 3 of them via the punch-out.
I also find my slider is more effective lefty-lefty than lefty-righty, but my curveball's pretty good no matter which hand I face. I wonder if that's the same for Reith.
It's going to be a swinging strike on Connor McNatt. He's 0 for 2 on the day with a walk.
I don't know where that missed.
Yeah, that was a really, really good off-speed on the outer half of the plate. Didn't get the call. So he's going to front door him with it instead. He's throwing that thing wherever he wants to right now.
Yeah, now he can go either way. He can throw another breaking ball off the plate, get a swing, or go fastball in on his hands. He's not going to touch either of them. Not hang a curveball, though. That wasn't really on the cards.
Reith missed with the curveball. And the one spot you probably don't want to miss with, especially 1-2. But he gets away with it. Lives to see another day. McNatt has had a lot of hard hit balls foul today. He put one over the wall out there in right field foul. Was sniffing the first A's home run. That was a spiked fastball. I hope he's okay. He looks
Should be
all
fine.
right.
Overthrew it a tad.
Sometimes when you see a pitcher miss that badly with a fastball, there, sometimes it can lead to some sort of, you know, they might have tweaked something, but it looks like he's going to be okay. And then he comes back with a curveball.
If I'm Reith, I'd throw that again, though. Make sure we trust it, get it down in the zone. And you have the ability to miss a tad low with this, too, because the batter's in protect mode. See if you can induce a swing or get him looking. Got him looking.
Got him looking at a curveball in the dirt. So Reith missed down with back-to-back breakers. Puts on McNatt. So now it's Drake Cobb stepping back up to the plate. He has 2 flyouts today and a walk. Still, Reith looks really solid. Never mind the walk.
Change up there?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Took some off that one. A lot of the times, guys who have those disgusting off speeds, they like to go change up to the split batter.
Yeah, they always like stuff running away from guys' barrels. Never want it coming in because if you take some off of it and the guy's early, that's when they accidentally catch balls right on the screws.
Being down 0-2 versus anyone's never fun. Against Landon Reith, it's a bit less fun. The 0-2 fastball. Blow it by him. 3 strikeouts for Landon Reith. He's got to be feeling good after that one. And Hopefully that gets this Mustangs offense going. So we head to the bottom of the 6th inning, just 12 outs remaining. Frank Gall stepping in to get things going here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
We've seen Gall's average dip over the last couple games. It's hard to sustain a guy who's hitting 450 at one point in the year, but I'd love to see him poke something, find a hole, stay within his game. He does have power when he wants to, but you're down 5. Let's put a nice, comfortable line drive swing on it.
He fouls the first pitch straight back. Only Gall's second at-bat of the night. He grounded out unassisted to first base in his first at-bat. I mentioned it in his first at-bat, but Gall is just missing these doubles, triples down the line. That's what his 3rd or 4th one, I think, tonight, where he's missed him by, again, a couple inches.
He'd be good at cricket.
Waves and misses at the 0-2. Take a look at the standings. Oh, I have a minute, and I mean, these are the top 2 teams, Tyler. It's the Mustangs and the A's, and then everyone else. Freeman hits one well out there to right field, but it's caught. But like we were saying, these 2 teams they're separated by a decent amount. Mustangs up 5, but kind of a must-win game for the A's, and it looks like they're gonna, they're at least getting things done right now.
The A's are going to scoreboard watch the rest of the year, but they're doing what they can. They were in 4th place at one point, but have just been on a tear. And as the Mustangs, you can't let your foot off the gas. It's a long season. We know that. You're over halfway through with it. But it's time to really grind and at least clinch before you start being a little lackadaisical out there.
Well, especially in a league like this where you're playing 5 or 6 games a week, you have one bad week, and all of a sudden your 5-game lead is 2-1. It's no lead is really safe this early in the year. I know, like you said, we're about halfway through, but still, a lot of baseball left to be played. This one from Holton is going to be hit well out there to short. Bazemore is able to get a glove on it, but no play. So an infield single for Mason Holton. You love to see that.
Love to see any single so far today because there's only been 2 for the Mustangs.
So now it's Carson Schrack.
All right, Charlie, it's time for a Tyler prediction. I'm thinking he's going to get a changeup that the pitcher leaves up in the zone, and this ball's going into the party deck.
I was just about to say, no better time for Carson Schrack to pull it into the party deck. You took the words out of my mouth. Let's see if you're correct. There's a fastball.
I make predictions and get it wrong 99% of the time, but the one that I do get right, we're going to go nuts, and my portfolio is going to look fantastic.
2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Mustangs have looked dead offensively all night. A chance to come alive as that pickoff attempt was a little too close for liking on Mason Holton.
Try to time him up with Holton. His run doesn't mean too much, but you don't want to chip away. As Charlie mentioned, there was 12 outs to play with. Now there's only 10 outs to play with. So every run does help.
Schrack takes some sort of off speed down in the dirt.
Don't leave that up, Luke Spencer.
So far tonight, he hasn't. He's been absolutely shoving. And he's done it without really needing to strike too many hitters out. He only has 3 of them. Schrack, not going to be a home run, but it is going to be enough to, get some more runners on base here as he singles into right field. So now Mason Holton, the Coffeyville teammates, with some 2-out life in the bottom of the 6th inning.
That's what I said. It's going to be a changeup up in the zone, and he hits it out in front of the party deck.
You're not wrong. You're just wrong. So for the first time tonight, the Mustangs have had a runner in scoring position. And here's Jeter Mose. Another pickoff over at first base. We've seen a lot of them with very few base runners.
I love to see Schrack in the scoring position, but he's got to be 100% sure he can make it. No jump, no go.
Mose flares one right to Bazemore. I thought that might have been hit well enough to get over his head, but it wasn't. So two-out singles, but still no runs. The Mustangs still searching for their first run of the ball game as we go to the top of the 8th inning, or top of the 7th inning, excuse me. Landon Reith back out there for his 3rd inning of work. And this time it's Tyler Macon. This will be the 2nd time through the order for Reith, as Macon, his first time up versus Reith, hit a single to second base. That one should be an easy play for Jaden Little. And it is.
Makin's a speedster. That was a two-hopper to your third baseman, and he was barely safe, or barely out, excuse me.
Well, even just running hard down the line really puts pressure on those fielders sometimes to make plays, so you can't knock them for digging those ones out. Now it's Evan Smallwood. Haven't said Smallwood much tonight. He's got a walk, a ground out to shortstop, and then a ground out to second base.
You're so lucky to make an error right there. Trying to call that early. I like it.
Smallwood also has a single today for what it's worth. Reith trying to sit down Holiday. First pitch curveball, making it a 1-2-3 inning if he can do so. We've had a 5-3 ground out, a 4-3 ground out. I'm feeling a 6-3 ground out right here.
I'm going to go 3 unassisted, Charlie.
Okay. I think Landon Reith's thinking a strikeout. The 0-2 pitch.
Damn it.
Is a ground ball to Mason Holton, who can't make the play. I thought I did something there.
I thought you did it. I thought you did it, Charlie.
It's going to be an error on Mason Holton. And we were just talking about how solid he's been at shortstop all year. Slipped up there, just kind of the speed from Holiday was enough to make Holton just kind of bobble the ball within his glove.
Again, hard 90s really make a difference. Even if plays are routine, it makes the fielders panic just enough, and that's where errors start to pile up.
Holton's one of those players that just likes to field on the run. He kind of likes to come in and get those choppers and just throw on the run. He's one of those guys who doesn't necessarily need to set his feet.
We talked about that. When he plays third base, he could have too much time, where he maybe has to think a little bit more, plays the hops a little easier, and that kind of plagues him rather than just trusting his instinct.
That one squirts away from Don Felix. Holiday might be trying to get two. He's not. He's going to stop at second base. So now a runner in scoring position with 2 outs as that breaking ball squirted away from Dominic Felix. One pitch is going to be blooped out to center field. It's going to be a tough play for Freeman, who makes it. Darius Freeman with a run-saving grab out there in center field. We're going to go to the bottom of the 7th inning. The Mustangs still looking for that first run of the ballgame. Easton Bruce set to lead things off. So maybe he'll be the one to get things going for these Mustangs. They've really struggled tonight. They have just 3 hits. They've reached base once on a walk. That one misses inside. The weather continues to kind of go the wrong way. The clouds get a little darker. In case you're curious, earlier when the umpire kind of flagged it down as Bruce hits one hard down the line, it's going to be a leadoff single, and it's just what the Mustangs ordered. But earlier, it was a lightning warning was the reason for the delay. Never really heard of
warning.
that.
So there could have been lightning? There might be lightning?
I'm not sure. That's just a word that got relayed up to us. I'm imagining he might have saw some sort of small flash far away, but a lightning warning. Now it's Dom Felix trying to continue and get the line going a little bit.
That would suck for the Mustangs just because now they're racing against time if weather doesn't permit, and it's going to count as a real game once they get through the 7th.
So it either needs to start pouring or the Mustangs need to start pouring on the runs.
There you go. Good one, Char. And credit to Luke Spencer's been pitching great, but it's the 3rd time of the order, and there've been 3 hits now through this back end. So guys are starting to see him a little bit better. It might be time for the A's to think about getting someone new out there, even though he is pitching great.
There are some guys out there in the Clarinda bullpen, but it doesn't look like anyone's throwing right now. Snap throw from Henderson. Bruce able to get back with plenty of time remaining.
Not a bad idea. Try to time up Bruce a bit, the catcher. I mean, you know more than I do, but probably saw him get out a little too far in the secondary and tried to capitalize an opportunity.
Up 5-0, why not, you know? If you throw into right field, it's not the end of the world. 2-2 to Dom Felix. A big at-bat here for the Mustangs. He takes down, making it full 3-2. How big would a second base runner here be with no outs for this Mustangs team?
Uncharted territory for the A's tonight. We're the only guy in scoring positions with 2 outs. Put some pressure on the pitcher and the defense.
The 3-2. It's going to be hit well, but right at Bazemore. It's going to be a 6-4-3 double play.
Now, I got to look, and I feel like Dom Felix leads the team in double plays, and it's by a wide margin. Dom Felix led the team in double plays with 5. Second has 2. He's not the fastest guy in the world, but he just loves to hit the ball on the ground when there's guys on first, I guess.
A swing and a miss for Jaden Little. You missed it right there. He called time and requested a new ball. Threw it into the catcher. Little took a hack at it. Jokingly.
Okay.
1-1 after the called strike on the outside corner. Spencer trying to get through his 7th inning of work, and it looks like he's going to do just that. Little flies out to right field. That's Holiday out there to end the inning. Going to the 8th inning now. Athletics lead it 5-0. Kai Holiday, he's led off 3 separate innings, and that's what he's going to do right here in the top of the 8th inning. That's strike 1.
Really not many guys in the Mink League you want to lead off other than Kai Holiday. Maybe Jake McClure on the Merchants, he's batting like 450, but both these guys just perfect leadoff men, get on base, low strikeout rate, can run.
Going to be a tough play for Little, and he kicks it. Holiday thinking 2, and he's going to go for it. And Little can't get the ball there in time, so an error to start this inning, and Holiday's going to end up on second base.
Jaden Little can't compound the mistakes right there. Missed the ground ball and just didn't hustle to get to that after the ricochet. And Kai Holiday, just being a smart base runner, was thinking 2 out of the box once he saw Little boot that.
Yeah, no hesitation from Holiday the minute that ball was kicked.
I'll give credit to Luke Spencer for shutting down the offense. You can't win if you can't score, but just a really lackadaisical defensive effort all around today.
Yeah, since the first pitch, it just doesn't feel like they've really been locked in tonight. And again, a game like this is just really, if you were ever going to take one off, not the one to do so. Holiday goes, no throw for Felix.
He's done that all game, completely timing up Landon Reith.
Yeah, Dom Felix really hasn't had an opportunity to throw any runners out.
Infield in here, which is interesting.
I mean, I don't hate it. You haven't scored a single run. You know, you don't really want to give up any more. The 1-2 count to Caruso, who we've seen enough tonight. He's not looking good on this breaker from Reith. It'll be interesting to see if he goes back to it right here. Goes fastball just off the plate. Reith can't believe it missed.
Neither can Dom Felix, neither can the fans. I like the idea, though, especially if you're going to throw a fastball, get it in a spot where if it was a breaking ball, it wouldn't be near the zone. That's the last place Caruso's looking for, is something on the low and outside corner.
The way that pitch, the reaction we got, it almost makes you wonder if that pitch was right down the middle. I mean, it's very rare you see a pitcher or a catcher ever kind of make an appearance, but for them to both put their hands in the air.
Something to note was saw lightning just now, maybe about the pitch before. No rain yet. I know it's supposed to pour at like 10 o'clock.
Yeah, it's a little muggy out here. It almost looks like it's about to absolutely pour. Caruso goes down via the punch out again on that breaking ball. So coming in tonight, tied with the Mink League record, or not record, but leading the Mink League in RBIs. He's had a couple chances tonight, has not been able to do so.
He's the only guy in this lineup that hasn't figured out the Mustangs pitching. They have 11 hits. Caruso just looking lost up there.
Caruso with 3 strikeouts tonight. Tough game for him. He's hoping his teammate Sean Bazemore can pick him up. Reith hoping for the opposite, looking for another strikeout. Strike 1. 1-1's the count.
I want to see now a breaking ball in the outside part of the plant, get him looking, and then get him swinging on the changeup. Would be a perfect sequence.
Let's see what Reith is thinking. 1-1 missed in. When these pitchers and catchers only play together for one summer, it makes you wonder how much trust the pitchers put into their catchers' pitch calling and just their ability to call a good game.
Also, their blocking ability. You got a guy on third now. Man, I don't know where that missed either. Goodness.
Yeah, it looked good from here.
Especially with a breaking ball that starts in the zone.
There's strike 2. So Bazemore's been behind both fastballs.
That's a really awkward swing and a 3-1 count. Guy's hitting 371 in the year, and he does that.
The full count pitch is a big one. It's going to be a ground ball. Little's going to go home with it. Good play. Takes out the umpire. But Holiday is officially called out.
I've never seen that before. That's brutal.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Holiday slid straight in to home plate umpire's legs and sent him to the dirt.
Charlie, you umpire was he in the correct spot?
I mean,
right
no,
there?
he needs to get out of the way. He needs to be up down the third baseline so that doesn't happen.
I didn't think Holiday did anything wrong. He slid on the outside part of the bag trying to avoid the tag and really caught the umpire cleanly.
In his defense, he didn't have a ton of time. That was a good play from Little there. We'll give credit to him. Backhanded, had to go home with it, and had to be it quick with Holiday over there on third.
That was a Chase Utley type slide.
Reith keeps going to that rosin bag on the mound. That should just kind of show everyone here how moist and just how sweaty he probably is out there on the mound. He picks it up again. It's becoming a kind of an every pitch activity for him.
It is. It also means he might get really good grip on the baseball. You mix the kind of sweat and rosin, almost like a sticky substance kind of effect.
Reith wanted the swing, didn't get it.
I don't think he went around.
It's
a good pitch, though.
He might have maybe gone around, but I think McNatt was kind of just avoiding the pitch when doing so. I don't think there was too much swing intention behind that. So he'll need one more strike. The 2-2 pitch misses down.
Head start for the runner on first. Double probably scores him.
The 3-2 pitch. Fouled off. We'll do it again.
Have you saw the umpire flapping his wings like a bird right there? Trying to communicate something to the home plate umpire?
Yeah, I'm not sure what that signal is. Strike three. Landon Reith has really dialed in here. In relief, he's looked good. But the bats are going to need to look good, too, if they're going to come back in this one. 5-0 as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Where are these Mustang hitters? 5-0 is the score as we welcome you back to Phil Welch Stadium. I'm Charlie Marshall, joined alongside Tyler Bermundo. It's not been a great game so far from the Mustangs. The bats have lagged behind all game. Glick with a hard foul ball to start this one. But the pitching has been solid. Lutz had one bad inning where a couple balls didn't bounce his way, had a couple walks. And then Reith gave up 1 run in relief, but has looked good besides that. But overall, the story of the game has been the pitcher for the A's. The pitching for the A's. It's Luke Spencer, who threw 7 innings, giving up 0 runs to the best team in the Mink League.
Glick late on a couple fastballs from the new arm. See if he goes to something else. I think he'll slowly but surely catch one, maybe down the left field line, if he keeps going with the hard stuff.
Glick likes to go to the opposite field. With 2 strikes, that should be his approach. He kind of flares one out to center field. What a catch by Kai Holiday. I mean, I thought that thing was going to drop in with some eyes out there in center, and Holiday just doing what he's done all night. Robbing these Mustangs hitters, showing some serious range.
Kai Holiday is just a special player. He's one of those guys that has a ton of speed in the outfield, but also knows how to play the position. Really great jump, full extension, a lot of faith, and made a fantastic play. We saw Logan Miller make a play like that a couple weeks ago, but that was something spectacular.
That's a big play because in a game like this, the leadoff runner does a lot for an inning when you need 5 runs. And there's a hit from Frank Gall. That's what he's been trying to do all night. Finally gets one to fall.
The complexion inning now, one out with a guy on first. Not that big. If he had first and second right there, chasing 5, things feel a little bit more manageable.
Especially with the new pitcher on the mound.
Top of your lineup as well.
We don't have a name for the new pitcher. He wasn't on the roster. Sometimes things like that happen in summer ball. Late adds to teams, and that's kind of what happened right here.
Call him John Doe, Charlie?
All I know is he's the pitcher for the Clarinda A's.
Number 29.
And he wears number 29. There's one hitter in this Mustangs lineup that can get the ball rolling no matter what the day is. It's Darius Freeman. Thought about bunting there as Caruso over there at third base is playing very far back, and Freeman is not afraid to bunt. We've seen it before.
He's back again. Darius Freeman, a good bunter. Why not do it again? He can't get them all back on a swing. If he can get the hit there, take it.
Caruso creeps in. No one was covering the bag, so that's going to be a stolen base for Frank Gall. You guys can't see it, but Caruso has gradually crept in a little bit, but still not in any kind of bunt defense. Counts 3-0. I don't think Freeman's going to bunt 3-0 anyway.
I don't think he's swinging either. Probably a prime time for a 3-0 take.
Taking all the way, and that's ball 4. So 2 on now. Again, how big is that catch now for Kai Holiday out there in center field?
I agree. Now Mason Holton, who has a hit today. That play from Kai Holiday, really spectacular. Really just been spectacular all night at the plate, in the field, on the bases.
Holton, the only player to reach scoring position tonight, or for the Mustangs. So
now reached third base. Frank Gall's at second.
Yeah,
But
you're right. Before this inning, I should say, he was the only player. I would love to see him put himself back in scoring position, maybe clear the bases.
yeah, Mason Holton is due for just a barrel that finds
Double
some grass
steal.
out there.
A little risky, but it pays off. When you have your 2 team leaders in stolen bases on the bags, why not?
Especially when you can read the pitcher like that. Guy's pretty slow to the plate. It's not that risky. Now you eliminate the double play, the inning-ending double play.
One misses down. Holton was kind of a guy when we first saw him I was really impressed with. The plays he was making at short, his hitting at the plate. He's definitely slowed down a little bit, but, I mean, we are all very aware of what he can do. He swings through the fastball there. Tonight, he's 1 for 3 with a line out and a strikeout.
He's trying to do a lot on that last pitch. I don't want to see that swing again. I want to see a nice, short, compact swing and keep the line moving.
Does enough to stay alive as he fouled off the pitch on the outer half. He knocked his elbow guard off with that swing.
More lightning out there.
Five to 0 is the score. The Mustangs are looking for their first run of the game. Holton fouls it back.
Holton with a big kind of pull side approach, steps out a tad, and doesn't keep his barrel in the zone very long. I'm sure anything on the inside part of the play he annihilates, but anything away probably struggles with maybe some flares to the right side, if anything.
Takes high. And there's nothing wrong with that as a hitter. You can like the inside pitch. And, I mean, we've seen right now his ability, he's fouling off the outside pitch. So he doesn't have to be able to mash it as long as he's able to foul it off and just kind of keep looking for something on the inner half. That's an inside pitch that he pulls. This one's going to score by Caruso at third. And that's the first run of the game for the Mustangs.
Smart decision to hold Darius Freeman there. No point in making that a close play if you're already chasing 5, now 4. But this is what the Mustangs need to do, is slowly get yourself back in this game. Tying run is still on deck. You got Carson Track, you're starting to heat up.
Yeah, Holton with 2 hits tonight, the only player in the Mustangs lineup who can say that. I've been waiting for a Carson Schrack moment all year. That's going to be a hard hit ball under the glove of Sean Bazemore at shortstop. So first and third now. The Mustangs get another one. And now it's just a 3-run deficit and the tying runs at the plate. And it's Jeter Mose.
So Mason Holton's decision to steal forced the shortstop to kind of leak towards second. All of a sudden caught him in no man's land without hop. He either could have taken a step back and tried to catch that, but instead he went aggressive and couldn't quite get there. So it's going to go down as a hit on their scorecard. I think Charlie has an error. But either way, Mason Holton going on the pitch influenced that defensive mishap.
We've seen it all year, or not all year, but occasionally, at least at home, where the Mustangs haven't really looked like themselves as Schrack takes off. Mose swings through a high fastball, and then I've just kind of found it in the last couple innings and just been able to do enough to keep the game in reach. And when it really mattered, they've come through.
Every time the Mustangs are down, they find some way to at least put up some fight. And in all their losses, games have been very close. But the past 2 home games have been an example of that. They were down 9-1, called their way back, couldn't quite finish it out. But were leading at one point, and a game that was 5-0, and the offense looked bleak. All of a sudden now the tying run at the plate.
Jose's going to hit a chopper to third base. Holton's going home. He's going to score. The only place to first, and that's where Caruso goes. So an RBI ground out for Jeter Mose makes it 5-3. Chirac advances to third. And again, the tying run still up. Now it's Easton Bruce. And this is a really, really big at-bat for these Mustangs. Being down 1 or 2 in the 9th inning is a huge difference.
Yeah, if they can make it 5-4 here, one more single.
Bruce shoots the first one foul.
Now, Charlie, that begs the question, in this summer ball, would you have pulled your pitcher Luke Spencer?
I mean, he threw 7 shutout innings, so it's hard to do so. He was starting to hit a little harder. Up 5-0, I mean, if you made me decide, I would have left him in if I was playing.
At least
for
let him
purely
start
a
the
win.
inning.
But he might have, again, guys need innings, so.
It's a playoff game. You're letting him ride out, at least to start the inning. If it gets in trouble, you bring in a reliever. I love this Mustangs team's not going down without a fight. We have yet to see them get blown out or really get beat handily.
Well, the only team they've lost to all year, for what it's worth, has been the Carroll Merchants. They've dropped 3 games to them, and the Merchants are just kind of in the middle of the Mink League standing, so it's not like they're a superior team by any means. Clarinda trying to be the second team to take them down. 0-2's the count to Easton Bruce. 1 for 2 on the night is Bruce. Strike 3, and Bruce can't believe it. But he's going to go down looking. Still a positive inning for these Mustangs as they get 3. And they make it a 2-run game as we head to the 9th inning. Welcome back to Phil Welch Stadium. You're getting a look at Diego de Santiago in relief. He's coming in for the top of the 9th inning, and he's tasked to hold these A's right where they're at. So far in the year, de Santiago has been good. He's been really good. He started the year starting, didn't have the best of luck with that, made the switch to the bullpen, and since then, Tyler, he's been lights out.
Yes, it's been a tale of 2 halves for him, now coming in as a reliever-type role. Thing is, he's allowed 16 hits in 14 innings and 9 walks. What that shows me is he dials it in with runners in scoring position. As a hitter, it's hard to say you're clutch in those big moments just because hitting is a game of chance. But as a pitcher, you can really up your mental game. You're in control, and when he feels like there's guys on, he finds ways to get outs.
And a lot of those walks, if you remember, his first 2 starts of the year featured a lot of walks, a lot of falling behind hitters, a lot of hits. And then ever since we've seen him transition to the pen, he's been a lot more almost just looking locked in. He's kind of gone out there. He knows he only has an inning or two. He's not holding anything in the tank, and he's just kind of letting it eat.
Well, forget even the starter versus reliever aspect. Diego de Santiago didn't pitch last season in college. So the first time he's been on a competitive environment, no matter what role you're playing, it's going to be tough to get acclimated to that. So those first couple starts, he got 6-7 innings under his belt, and that may all he needed to just start grinding away on the mound.
De Santiago from California, or at least he went to college, and San Joaquin Delta, the JUCO out there.
So I sound like a broken record, but San Joaquin Delta, one of the best JUCOs in the state. I've also noticed with Diego de Santiago, out of the pen, he's added a couple miles per hour on that fastball. Really, because he doesn't have to worry about lengthening out his start. He's got, right now, thinking one inning, go out there and throw your best stuff.
Yeah, De Santiago throws noticeably harder out of the pen. That one hit pretty hard. Freeman's going to be turning his back to get to this one, and it's going to be a leadoff double.
Nah, I mean, he left a fastball there. He does throw hard, but that was grooved, and I don't think Kai Holiday was catching that one.
Yeah, I don't think anyone, anywhere, except for maybe you, was catching that one, Tyler.
Aw, Charlie, I'm flattered.
It was Drake Cobb who sent one over Freeman's head.
I want Diego de Santiago to start mixing in his secondary pitches to make the fastball that's in the upper 80s, low 90s look even faster.
He doesn't mess around when he's throwing that fastball. But these hitters see velocity everywhere nowadays, so if you're not able to keep them off balance, they're typically able to get some wood on the fastballs. That was a bunt attempt from Tyler Macon. Bunted straight back into the netting. It's interesting to see truly how many people struggle to get bunts down nowadays compared, I feel like, to where it used to be a more common thing, or at least at the lower levels of baseball. Is that one is going to run in and get Macon, so he's going to get a free pass to first base. But again, not all that common to see a really good bunter out there anymore.
I think it's a mix of it not being a priority in coaching curriculum, as well as guys just don't take it seriously. The game has changed. It's not all small ball finding ways on. Guys are taking hacks starting when they're 14, 15 years old.
Some more bunting perhaps. This time it's Evan Smallwood. And Jeter Mose is way in. It looks like we're going to get a mound visit from pitching coach Mark Stevenson.
The taco hitter up, Evan Smallwood, and fans are alive right now, hoping to get some tacos.
Get some tacos. We just saw the Mustangs put 3 runs in the bottom of the 8th, so a reason to be happy if you're the Mustangs.
And I bet the best thing for them is going down 5-0 in a game is really deflating for the rest of your week. Battling back to 5-3, even if they don't win this game, is something to at least not hang your head over. You can flush it out and go on tomorrow, but getting shut out 5-0, it's hard to flush that out.
Yeah, and I mean, these guys are off to a historical start in St. Joseph, so if they drop a game, obviously they're not used to it, but they've built a good cushion in the Meek League standings.
They have, but they're playing the Jefferson City Renegades tomorrow, who are the number 3 team in the Mink League. So it's not like it gets much easier. At least they're not playing the Mudcat, or sorry, the Merchants.
Yeah, I think I've seen enough of Carroll coming to town.
It's crazy. It's crazy how that works.
1-2 count to Smallwood. And that just, you don't love to see that. 1-2, another hit batter from De Santiago. So he's now hit 2 and then a leadoff double. So that's how we got where we're at. The bases are loaded with no outs. You said it to start the inning. He likes pitching with runners on. I really hope he shows that to us right here.
That's the last thing. Your team puts up 3 runs after not scoring at all. You want to shut down innings to continue the momentum.
That one almost scored it far enough away for Drake Cobb to think about coming home, but he's going to stay at third.
Yeah, Felix did just enough there. I like the hustle, though, from Santiago as well. Knowing he threw that ball in the dirt, he was quick to prevent Cobb from advancing.
It's Lath Holiday hitting now, the other Holiday in the lineup. He's got a double tonight. And then he followed that with back-to-back strikeouts. So 1 for 4 is his night. That fastball in the dirt, Felix didn't look like he might have much to do. That one bounced, hit off the gear, shot to the backstop. So a pass ball, or a wild pitch, I should say, run, makes it 6-3. I mean, you're just talking about deflating. Deflating is when you bounce back and get 3 runs, and then you give up a couple in the top of the 9th inning.
And really haven't had your defense help you out too much.
The infield back end where we saw them in the 8th inning. 2-2. They really can't afford any more runs to cross home plate.
Now 6-3 is very manageable, especially if you're the Mustangs. You battled late and a great offense, but you don't want to extend it to 7-3, even 8-3.
First base is open now after the wild pitch. Still, you do not want to put Holiday on.
You also don't want to play around too much with a breaking ball in the dirt just because you got a guy on third. Right
That's
there.
Another pitch skipping away. And Holiday's going to advance all the way to second after walking. So now, nothing really changed there except it's another run for the Athletics. And De Santiago needs to step off and gather himself right here. He's struggling just a bit. He's as a catcher, the hardest pitch to handle is a spiked fastball. And De Santiago's given down Felix quite a bit of those in this inning.
Looks like Jaron Guck is getting up and moving around.
That one's going to squirt by Mose, and it's going to be 2 more runs. So as quickly as the Mustangs got 4, they give them back.
Really a nightmare inning for the Mustangs where it felt like they had a chance to come back in this game, but now it's pretty tough to rally a team for 6-7 runs. And you have fans starting to head for the exits as well.
We're back to the top of the order here in Kai Holiday. Holiday on the day has had a solid game for a normal person. For him, not so much. He only has 1 hit. He's walked once. But other than that, he's 1 for 4.
1 for 4 and your average drops significantly. 2 for 5 his average still drops. That's awful. I mean, good, but like kind of sucks.
Unfortunate for him, but good. It shows how effective he's been offensively this year.
It's like when you're playing golf and you're 25 handicap, you hit the green, and then you have guys who hit the green 20 feet away and they're pissed off because it wasn't closer.
2-1 pitch, catches that outside corner, 2-2. I mean, it's hard not to be frustrated if you're De Santiago right now. What do you kind of tell yourself maybe just to hone in? Is this one's going to be chopped to Mosaic, going to be a tough play with Holiday speed, and there's just no chance?
Even there, too, now I have to get involved in a play, and I'm still not getting outs. And honestly, it's tough. There's no words of wisdom I can give Diego De Santiago right now that would completely fix everything. You just got to realize that I'm still out there, and I got to make the most of it.
In the second inning, we saw the A's bat around, and right now they're in danger of doing it again. Is no outs, and we've already seen 6 batters come to the plate.
And the batters that are due up, some of the best on the A's.
Caruso, we've talked about how many RBIs he has a lot tonight, but he's had a bit of an off night. 3 strikeouts. Hasn't been himself.
He also had to face the lefty Landon Reith, which is just not a favorable matchup for him. Couldn't take advantage on Camden Lutz. Lightning starting to become more and more prevalent. No matter what, Charlie, whether we finish this game or not, I think you and I are going home, driving home in some pouring rain.
I would agree with that. De Santiago finally ahead of a hitter here tonight. 0-2's the count to Caruso. He's in danger of picking up what we call a golden sombrero.
That 4? You know what the 5 is called?
I don't know, and I really don't want to find out, at least myself. You know, it's just not something I would ever want to really know. It's hard to get 5 at-bats in a game.
Yeah.
5 strikeouts is just...
Charlie, never strikes out. He's a very put the ball in play kind of guy.
1-2's the count. Strike 3 gets away from Felix, so the runners are going to advance, but Caruso goes down for his 4th time tonight. Not great.
Especially when your team has 14 hits and 9 runs.
Coming into the night, he had 10 strikeouts. So, he has about half tonight of what he has in the entire season.
I think Camden Lutz only had 4 walks coming into this game, and I think he had 3 in his start today.
At this point in the season, when you see guys, you know, doing more than in terms of walks and strikeouts, they're having. It's not like we're 4 or 5 games in one bad game, but just shows that these bad games are having are really bad. They're really not like them. So now it's Bazemore. It doesn't get any easier for De Santiago. He takes off the plate. 2-1's your count. Bazemore on the day has 3 hits, a double, 2 singles, and then a strikeout, and then reached on a fielder's choice. So he's reached in 4 of his 5 opportunities. This one's going to be a ground ball up the middle, and because the infield's in, there's just no play, and that's going to be 2 more runs in the top of the 9th inning, making the score 11-3.
The scoring has come in bunches all day. 4 in the second inning for the A's. They got 1 in the 5th. And the Mustangs put up 3 in the bottom of the 8th, and all of a sudden a 6 spot. It's not like it was consistent, maybe rallies. It was guys go down easily in some innings, and other innings put up major fights.
Well, we mentioned it pregame. This Clarinda team can't swing it, and that's what they're known for. They have a team batting average over 300. Sits at about 303. They have a lot of guys, especially at this top of the lineup, that can absolutely mash. That one's going to be put in the gap, and it's going to be down. So more hits, more base runners for this Clarinda team. As Bazemore was running on the pitch, so he'll reach third. That's going to be a single for Connor McNatt.
Yeah, the A's high batting average, not a high slugging percentage, and it kind of shows. They have 18 hits here tonight. Excuse me, 16 hits here tonight. But how many extra base hits? Not many.
3. They have 3 extra base hits tonight.
Yeah, they're 303 batting average, but 357 slugging. Really not known for much power.
Well, again, they're the only team in the big league without a home run on the year, so they clearly find other ways to score, though, as they're looking at an 11 in their run column right now.
I also look at their 420 OBP. That is incredible.
Yeah,
it's incredible for a player.
Yeah, as a team, that's pretty ridiculous.
Means 42% of the time you find your way on first.
I mean, it's no wonder that they've had this much success recently. There's just a bunch of hitters who are tough outs, and we're seeing it right here.
The Mustangs next play the A's in Clarinda on Tuesday the 2nd.
I feel like we haven't talked about it a bunch tonight, but the last time these two teams played, the Mustangs won 17-1.
Wow, tale of 2 games, I guess.
I mean, it was a road game, but they've also beaten them at home this year too. So although Clarinda came in second place and hot, some of these Mustangs players might not have been taking them too seriously. As that's ball 4 to Drake Cobb. So in his second at-bat of the inning, he gets on for his second time.
It's also important. The Mustangs lead the Mink League by 5 games, looking like it'll be 4 games after tonight. They have 4 matchups against the A's. So the A's stay hot. The Mustangs would hope to at least take one of the 3 or one of the 4. But you don't want to let them back in this Mink League race.
There's going to be a ground ball to Schrack. It could be 2, and it is. 4-6-3 is the way it goes. So we're going to need a miracle here in the bottom of the 9th inning if we want to keep this game going. The Mustangs are going to need 8 runs when we return. Dom Felix get things underway here in the bottom of the 9th inning. That one just off the corner. While we have a second, we're going to take a look at the upcoming schedule for these Mustangs. So tonight, definitely a game to forget. Tyler already talked about they play the Renegades tomorrow. That game's here at Phil Welch. After that, it's on the road versus the Merchants. And then they're back in Clarinda for the second time of the year, where they beat them 17-1 last time, but maybe the Mustangs will come in a little angrier next time. And after that, the Mudcats. So the schedule really doesn't get too easy. I mean, the next 3 games are against the top 2 teams in the league. And sandwiched in between there is just a team they've struggled with all year, and no one can really figure out why.
Yeah, and the Mudcats even, they had to walk them off the last time they played at home. So it really doesn't get easy any year. There are teams that are better than others in the Mink League. At the same time, you still got to win. It's like the MLB, right? The A's and the Yankees, complete opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of record, but on any given day, the A's can beat the Yankees. There's no guaranteed wins out here. And the Mustangs, who have a decent-sized lead at first, can see that vanish if they don't turn things around. I hope they come out with a fire lit under them tomorrow against the Renegades.
So a quick walk for Dom Felix. And in steps Jane Little, playing third base tonight. First pitch swinging and fouling straight back is Little.
As for the Mustangs, like, whatever happened has happened, and it's 11-3 right now. I would like to see the team put up at least 11-6. Make this game feel a little bit closer than it has been. And really, the game was close at one point.
Yeah, heading into the top of the ninth, it was a 2-run game. You know, it was 5-3. The Mustangs had just scored 3 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning, and we have finally seen some signs of life in that offense, which have been dormant all game. Little's going to flare one out to short. Felix was a little off the back, but he's able to get back. That's the second time Little's flared out to shortstop tonight. But
I
again,
thought Felix was out, actually.
Yeah, that was almost bad for the Mustangs.
Smart play at Bazemore at shortstop there. Just because he's so close to the bag and running to it, you let that drop, pick that off the ground, you got yourself a easy double play.
Yeah, I mean, that ball obviously wasn't hit high enough to be an infield fly. That one shot out to center field. No problem for Holiday.
There also is no infield fly with a runner on first.
That's true.
That's why you've seen some players in the MLB, they'll get a line drive and kind of drop it on purpose. You can't do that.
I never really understand the no infield fly with a runner on first. And I just don't. Because, I mean, they can still. In my opinion, I'm more likely to go for a situation like that when there's not runners in scoring position. When I have a guy on second, I might be more inclined to let's just make the play and get the out. I don't want to, allow a run to score. But just a guy on first, I feel like I'm more likely to take a chance at letting a fly ball land and turning 2.
Yeah, it's interesting. But you can't purposely make the ball drop, but on a play like that, you can allow it to take the extra hop, so to speak.
Yeah.
It's all about what it looks like to the umpire.
This is Frank Gall. He's had a bit of an unconventional game for him. He's had a lot of hard foul balls. Had a hit in his last at-bat. This time he shoots one up. Looks like it's going to be playable and caught over there by Drake Cobb. So that'll do it tonight for St. Joe. They fall 11-3 in their worst loss of the year. Kind of just got away from them late. We'll be back after a quick break to send it away until tomorrow night. Welcome back to Phil Welch Stadium. I'm Charlie Marshall, joined alongside by Tyler Raimundo. Well, that game, it didn't go to plan, to say the least. 11-3 is your final score. Clarinda came in second place in the Mink League, 5 games back, and they looked like the first place team tonight, to say kindly.
They came with a chip on their shoulder. You mentioned they lost 17-1 to the Mustangs last time they met in Clarinda. And that team has been on a 9-game win streak.
Yeah,
after this
7 games.
7-game win streak.
They've won 14 of their last 15 games.
And that's a team that is allowing the momentum to carry over. The Mustangs, I mean, the record's 24-4 now on the season, but the team has not been hot per se. They've lost 2 of their last 3, which is unheard of for this Mustangs team. And the key is going to be how do they respond tomorrow when they play the third-place team in the Jefferson City Renegades.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned playing Jeff City. Now is not the greatest time for the year to be playing, not your best baseball. And that's kind of what we're seeing from St. Joe right now. They're not clicking. The offense was really just not here all night. We saw it late in the 8th inning, but at that point it was a little too late. How do you kind of maybe put this loss behind you and focus on a team like Jeff City, another big game tomorrow? What do you go about that?
I'd almost take the rest of the night off, kind of relax, reset, because you can't do anything about it. I don't think extra time in the cage is going to help you out enough. It's more of a mental approach and how we attack at the plate for pitchers. How can we attack hitters? I don't think it's more practice. It's let's flush it, let's relax, and go back to playing Mink League baseball like we know we can, because we are still the number 1 team leading by 4 games.
Yeah, I mean, we're making it seem like they're not off to one of the best starts of all time in Mustangs history, and it's a long history. So they have given themselves some room to slip up. You don't want them to, but they're still 4 games up. They lead the Mink League. It's not the best spot in the world to be in, but it's a pretty darn good one.
Yeah, and they control their own destiny. They win out. If they lose out, or it's not lose out, but if they win and lose like 3 or 4 games, the Clarinda A's would still have to go undefeated for that to even overtake. So it's not panic mode yet. It's just more of, hey, let's figure this out together as a team, and let's go win ourselves a ball game tomorrow.
Yeah, rather sooner than later. But that's your final today, 11-3. Those are our thoughts on it. Tomorrow they play Jefferson City. It'll be streamed right here like every other home game. I'm Charlie Marshall. He's Tyler Raimundo saying farewell from Phil Welch.